Okay, we're on page pay. Pay. So this is where we see that we say the magic word Hashem, Yud K Vav K. And he says, let's just, like I said before, let's just look at what's on the page in terms of the Oros. What looks to me like you have another, another, what do you say, a mob. This is the mob de ma. So that's what you have. First, you have the Oros, and it's in the middle line. That's ma. So therefore, you have everything is doubled, and then you have the HAVAYA, the Milui, and the Mali, the Mali. Then, we haven't read anything yet. We're just looking down to the next image. Well, down below. And what do we have here? We have Oros, just straight Oros. So this is Keser, Chochma, Bina, and Das is split. He does it twice. He does it Kasa. Oh no, he doesn't do it Kasa. He has a Makif and a Panimi. Makif, Panimi in each one of these lines, and then Manukad. These are the lines. Let's see what he said in the little pirish that he has. He says, Yakavin the Hamshek Mabdema Umilui im Nachi, which is the top set of lights of the Ruach the Ruach. Now that's a little bit hard to, of course, we could go backwards, or we could see that this is a Ruach inside of a Ruach inside of a Ruach. And that depth is contained in the Nachi. Now, I'm just following it because I don't know how the Nachi got into this, but we're at the very top of the lights. Zarim Nachi, the very top of the Ruach of the Ruach of the Ruach. Okay? Then we go down to where is this going? So this set of lights, which is a mob, where's the mob going? The mob's going the Kachba the Dati. Looking at Dati, it seems like it's a parsif now. The Dati, the Chagat, or the middle line of the parts of Kol Chagat. Maybe that's better. The Ma'u Ben the Ma. Excuse me. I'm going to sneeze. Whoops. Ma'u Ben the Ma'u Ben the Zun. So it's the Ma'u Ben the Ma, and also the Ben and the Ben the Zun. He doesn't say, let me see if I'm getting this right. He doesn't say the Ma'u Ben the Ma and the Ma'u Ben the Ben. Instead, he says that, first of all, we're going to Zun. And we're going to the Ma and the Ben de Zun. We're going to go to the Ma'u Ben the Ma of the Ben de Zun. Okay? Now, how he got to these places and what the interior idea of how we got to these places, or the definition of why are we dealing here with the Kachbad, the very top part of the Dati, the middle line of Chagat. So all of these are Dati and Chagat, they have to be Partsufim. And these are for Ma'u Ben de Ma, Ben, Ma'u Ben de Ma, Ma'u Ben de Ben. I think that's what he meant, the Zun. Let's go to the next one. The Hotzi base Tzalmei Amochin, to bring out two Tzalmei Amochin. Now, Tzalmei Amochin goes along with Kol Tzalmei. That's my interpretation. So the Tzlomim are a levush on the Mochin. So he says, Lahotzi base Tzalmei Hamochin Mimalchus de Imel of the That's where it comes out. It comes out from the very bottom part. V'lahamshicham al gabe makiv dechabad dechagad dezah. And bring him on top. Once again, we're dealing with the makif. So he said, V'lahamshicham al gabe, on top of the makif, which is not the part that's inside. The makif, there we go. The makif, the chabad of the very top section of the parts of Kol Chagat, which is in Zeranpin. So all of these different places. with the hope I have that somewhere along the line we're going to find out why we're dealing with the top part of the Chagat, or we're dealing with the Nechi, like that he said before. Achakach, Yamshichem levok the Chabad the Chagat the Zah. Then after that, you're going to bring them where? To the top part of the Chagat, because the Chagat has a Chabad Chagat Nai, the Zer Anpen. And then he shows you these lights. Now we're going to go to the next page. The next page has what? So the next page starts out with Mochim. So the mochin here are sa or ma at the top, and on the right side of the top, the left side of the top rather, is going to be sag. Now, my thinking is, right or wrong, that we have the mochin of Abba inside of the mochin of Ima, because this is all flowing downwards. So therefore, we have the next part is going to be matching up with Av. Is going to be Kasa. And then the next one on the left side is going to be Ma. It's going to line up with Kamag. Then those are the mochin of the two top parts. Then he's going to bring in the Das. And Das is composed of Chamesha Chasadim, Chamesha Gavuros. And so there's 5 of each, as we know. And that is all going to flow into another set of mochin. So he says mochin inside of mochin, which are what? Ma and Ben. And then the way that it looks in the middle line, or it's triangular by a triangulated by Kona. And all of this rolls into, I think this is the Ralav. So all of it rolls into that, which represents Zah. Looking inside of it, you see that the way that it was actually spelled, and just really trying to understand where we're at, what is extremely, thin place in understanding, but you can look at it a little bit. He starts up with the Yud Vav Daled, that's Yud. But inside of that, he has 2 Vavs. Then he has a K, and inside the K are the spellings of the name of the letter K 3 different ways. And that next one is like that too. And then 2 Vavs with nothing special inside of them. And then once again the 3 Ks twice of Zeranpin. So all I could say is that that's what it is. Now we're going to get to a little arichas here because we get led into it. Now, nobody told me, maybe I could have said if I looked at a different place, I don't know, maybe, but nobody told me what these little blurbalach is that he has here in the Rashi print. He says, number Kaf Hey, he says, V'yakaven lahamshek ma'aba shuhu, which is the letter Yud, b'nikud patach. Now, we don't have this in front of us right now. Hey chasadim, which is the Hey Rishona, mi-yisod shalom, from his Yisod. Now, he says the Hey Chasadim, which is the Hey Rishona. The Yisod Shalo, Shuhu Shurik, which is a Shurik, and this Pashtim Bazer Anpen, which is the Vav and a Shurik Vav. Ima Yisod Shalo, together with his Yisod, Shuhu Shurik, which is a Shurik. Now, all of this needs Hezber. So how is it happening through the Malchus of Ima, which includes within it 5 Gevuros b'nikud Elokim with a different nikud. Shehu nikud Seri, which is the nikud of the Seri. So he says, and going to the next page, V'ala hakol, everything starts going up. Im shorish Hey Chasadim, together with the root of the Hey Chasadim, which are Hey HAVAYAs b'nikud komets. That's from Kesser, I guess. Hamamtek Hey Gevuros, which is going to be used to sweeten Hey Gevuros, Gematria, Mordechai, and Esther. Now, all of that was needs a lot of explanation. So he has here a number Kaf Hey, and there's some arichas here, and I think we should look at it. So he said, V'yikavein lahamshek ma'aba shuhu yud b'nikud patach. I'm going to read again. Benikta Pakl Hey Chasadim. So we're going to be able to Hey Rishona, which is the first Hey. The first Hey to me is always Bina, so why are we getting over here? But that's what he says. Yisod Shalosh Shahu Shurk, from its Yisod, which is the Shurk. The Shurk is like a Vav with a dot in it. Maybe the dot means what's being carried inside of the Vav of Zeranpin. And it winds up representing the bottom part, which is where the dot is located. Amispashte Pezash Hu Vav, which is Vav Vav. The Yisod Shalo, till it reaches his Yisod Shehu Shurk. So I'm just reading again, which he's now telling us that a Shurk is his Yisod. So how did they get there? He came to the Malchus of Ima Kolo He Gavuras, which has inside of her 5 Gavuras, Benikud Elokim. Now it's not here this particular drawing. I think it's the next drawing. So it had Benikud Elokim Shuhu Nikud Seri Va'Allah HaKol, and the whole thing goes up. Im Shorish He Chasadim Shehem He Havayos. The Nikud comets with the Nikud of a comet. So he's explaining something that we had to see somewhere else. It's not here on this page. Hamamtek He Gevuros Gematria Mordechai and Esther, and it's actually to sweeten the Gevuros, which are the Gevuros Gematria, and those sweetening of the Gevuros comes out to the Gematria of Mordechai and Esther. Now, what is he talking about? What are we talking about? So he says, Kavana zu huva b'pri eitz chaim v'ha'arech b'zecha p'rav v'zecha b'sefer kavanas yashon, which I wasn't sure that I didn't know that was huva b'sidr hayara. He says that's in the sidr hayara. He says that's the sefer kavanas yashon. B'zecha l'shon, and this is what it says, quote, da ki tevas Megillah. Let's take that. Where do we get the word Megillah? Which is really looks like the word Megala, right? So, Bekitzer, Chaser, in its shorter form, which is missing the letter Yud. V'hu Kaminyan Gimel Havayas, so it actually comes out to the gematria of 216. Shehem Beresha Hivora Delo Isyada. Let's go back, not the way that I did it. So he said, V'hu Kaminyan Gimel Havayas is the minion of the three Havayas, which are found in the Resha Hivura de Lo Isyada. Now, when he says the Lo Isyada, I don't think he means the Resha de Lo Isyada of Atik. I think he means not just, but he means the most infinite part of the top part of this. So anyway, that's why I think a Gimel Havaya Shehem Resha Hivura de Lo Isyada. Ki'ilu ha Gimel Havayas Mispashtim Yud Gimel Tikuni Dikta, and then it moves on. It moves down, Me'elu HaGimel Chavayus Mispashet Yud Gimel Tikkun Dikta, and from that flow of the whiteness that's coming off of the head of Zer Anpin, which is represented by these 3 Havayus, 372s. Ve'elu HaYud Gimel Hem Niknazim, so now we have this number 13. So remember that the 3 Havayus that he was talking about, which is the Hivarti, what was I going to say about that? Which are the Havarti, are the beginning of the flow. And he's telling us that flow flows into the beard of Eric Anpin. So he says, then it goes to Chila Toch Abba. V'nechlala b'yisod shabo, u'ma'abba toch ima, v'nechlalim toch yisod shabo. V'achar kach nechnasim toch Zer Anpin, and after that they go into Zer Anpin. V'noda ki yisod the Abba mislavish b'yisod the ima, so they're writing together. V'gam noda ki yisod the ima hu kotzer, v'yisod the Abba hu aroch. V'odef, so there it what is it it passes over it. V'yotze toch gufa dezah, and it goes into the gufa dezah. V'hinech b'Mordechai he yisod the Abba. So let's talk about it. He said Mordechai is the yisod the Abba. Esther is the Malchus the yisod the Ima. She is. Let's look a little more closely. He's not saying she is Malchus. He says she is the yisod is the Malchus of the yisod of Ima. This is the very bottom part of the yisod of Ima. V'lechein Mordechai Yehudi Ola Gematria Shakai. So that phrase, I guess, if you add them up, Mordechai Yehudi adds up to the number 314. V'yosha Mordechai v'Esther heim bechinas elu hayud gimel tikuni dikna. So they together come out of the, I said come out of, but they are the aspect of Yud Gimel Tikkunei Dikna near Mezuzah, which is referenced inside of them. V'hu shenoda ki elu hayud gimel hem yud gimel chivart havayos. They are 3 havayos, which are havayos of Av. So that 3 times 72 is 216. V'hem olim gematria, and they come out the gematria of Mordechai and Esther im hakolel. Now, I'm not sure what that meant. Mordechai is 274 and Esther is 661, and between the two of them, they make the number 935 plus a kolel, 936. So I didn't really understand. The Yosh Mordechai Esther and the Bechinas Eloi Yud Gimel Tikkunei Dikna. So they're the at from that. V'hu shenoidiki Elocha Yud Gimel Hem Yud Gimel Chavayos. There are 13 different 26s. Oh, I see. Maybe it's 1372s. The Av, it's 1372s. V'hem Olim Gematria Mordechai Esther, and they have the same Gematria. So if we took 13 Havayos, was represented by the Dikna, I guess, of Eric Anpin, it comes out that flowing through that beard is a concept of Mordechai and Esther. Together with the kolol, they get to the number 936, which is their gematria. V'hiyosha Mordechai hu mitzada chasadim, v'Esther mitzada gevuros, and Esther is on the other side. L'kach heim kol of them yachad asara havayas, so therefore that between the two they have 10 havayas, which is 260. The hainu ha-hey the hainu ha-hey, I think kulu benikud komet. I had this better before. I should have reviewed it again. V'heim esrim, there are, so therefore it comes out to be esrim kamatzim. There are 20 kometzes. Each kometz is 16. Now, what happens here? V'heim olim gematria shak, right? 320. V'chamisha chavavayas atzman olim kal. So we have the number 130, and with the number 314. 320, rather. 320, which is also 10 kales. Pashutim. Hareha kol gematria 10. So if you add 320 and 130, you're going to wind up with the number 450. Now he says, V'chamesh gevuros kulam benikud elokim, and then there were 5 gevuros, all of them manukad with the name Elokim. If you add them up, they come to the number 350. V'chamisha havayas atzman olam kal, so the havayas by themselves are 130. Hare kol gematria taf, so that makes the gematria 480. V'hinech v'tav, the 10 rather, 320, 350, or 450, 450 and 480. V'shor shachamisha chasadim, and then add them in. I'm talking of gevuros, which come along to sweeten the gevuros. Olim gematria Mordechai Esther. Once again, it comes out to the Mordechai and Esther. Now, this is really a harder little piece here for me. So let's go on. V'hinech Megillah, spelled like this, hu chaser yud. V'hu remez al yesod the Abba. This is a reference to the yesod of Abba hamispashet ad yesod dezer anpin, as we know. V'lechein poshta ka'igeris. It spreads leparsuli nisa. It spreads. Therefore, that's the yesod. The yesod is the fountain, let's say, so to speak. V'lechein poshta ka'igeris, like a letter that's floating, that's going around, I guess, or a letter of announcement. Leparsumi nisa, to celebrate the miracle, Shehem Netzach v'Hod, the Yesod, the Abba, which represent the Netzach and the Hod of the Yesod of Abba, Shehem HaShnei, the Luchos, which are the 2 Luchos. So let's say it one more time. L'chein poshta igeris the Pasumi Nisa, Shehem Netzach v'Hod, They are the Netzach and the Hod of the Yesod, the Abba. Okay, so we're in the Yesod, the Abba, and there are 10 spheres there. And there's a net down and looking down at the Netzach Hod, which is part that feeds into directly, maybe, let's see, with Adabish aim as Shnei Luchos. So Netzach and Hod represent the Shnei Luchos. Mispashtim ad Yesod the Zer Anpin, and they spread all the way down into the Yesod the Zer Anpin. The Hiyoshach HaChosadim HaGevuros Heim Kolulas Be Yesod the Abba, since all of them are incorporated in the he says the Chosadim and the Gevuros are all in the Yesod of Abba. So therefore you need to fold over the Megillah Ba'amod Echad into one column. The Ramos, in other words, I guess you read one column, you would know this, one column at a time. The Ramos HaChosadim Mamtakim Hagavuros. So that way we're putting it together, I guess. That's the idea, is that we're putting the Chosadim and the Gavuros together. Adkan, that was a okay. Adkan, Lashon Kavanas Yasha. So this needs a little bit of help. So he said, "Abir ha'inyan hu shemekuvan l'hamshacha al yesod da'ava." Now this is what we're focusing on now. The Mordechai and Esther focusing here at the Yesod of Abba. The V'toch Yesod Abba Shuhu Aruch, which is long, Mispashtim HaChosadim HaGevur Shehem Yesod Mordechai ve'Esther. So the Chosadim and the Gevuros are Mordechai and Esther. V'Yesod Abba Nirmez Ba'os Yud. It's really referenced by the Os Yud. Okay, so he says way down at the bottom of number Zion, he adds in that this is Kamavur Be'inyan Bris Milah in the Eitz Chaim Mishar Ha'ono Perigimel. Okay, anyway. So going on, Yumenuka B'patach Shehun Niked Chochma. Hey Rishona Romezes Al Chamisha, so the first are Al Chamish Chosadim. Now it said that in the blurb that was up above. Shehem B'Yesod the Abba, which is this is the concept of the Hey Rishona. I guess he means the Yud Kei Vav Kei. I'm assuming Romezes Al Chamish Chosadim, and the 5 Chosadim which are found now in the Yesod of Abba. V'Lachein Ki B'Nikud Shuruk. So therefore, it's going to have a Nikud, which is going to be a Shuruk. Shehu Nikud the Yesod, which is a Nikud that goes along with Yesod. So he says, Os Vav B'Nikud Shuruk Romez Al Yesod the Abba Mispashet Ad Yesod the Za V'Os He Achrona Romez the Hispashas Achamisha Gavurish Shabos Memalchus the Ima Shehi Bechinas Esther, which is the aspect of Esther Umanukad B'Tseri. It's going to be Manukad with the Tseri Shehu Nikud Habina, which is the Nikud of Bina. Then he says, I don't know if we'll finish this. It's like this. Shechamesh Pamim Shem HAVAYA Ha'ola Ko Hem Kal. That's we know that. V'chamisha Chasadim Shehem Shemas HAVAYA B'Nikud Komets. They're going to be Havayas with a Nikud of Komets, and on the next page you're going to see that. He said, "L'rmos al shorsham b'arich anpin," is to tell you that that's where the root is. Nosif al zerach heshbon esrim nikudi komets, and then add on to them 20 different nikudim, which are menaked with the komets. They're called komets who os vav shokef v'os yud tachtov. So did I miss one? He says that it's a yud on the top, yud on the bottom, and he says that the vav is lying, so it's at the diagonal. V'heim yachad tes zayin esrim pa'amim ha'ola shak. Now I got to go over this again because it's not ringing a bell with me. So shoched va'os yud tachtov v'heim yachad. So that comes out to be there are 16. Esrim Pamim, there is Tes Zion times 20. So Pamim Ha'ola Shak, which comes to the number 320, which is the number of Gavuros. Add on to the word Kal. Shehem Chamisha Shemas Havaya Atman. This gives you back to that number 450 again. So we're just about out of time. So let me try to get this last line, and we'll come back to the drawing. V'chamesh gevuros hem chameshes shemas havaya. They are 5 havayas. Benikud Elokim. Lefi shehem me'ima. That's because they're coming from ima. Ima's lashon Elokim. So then he said, v'chamesh havayus hem kal. V'kol nikud Elokim yesh bo sheva nikudas hem sheva yudin gematria ayin. So we have kal v'ayin. V'chamesh pa'amim hem shna. So to take that 5 times, you're going to get to 350. To add the 350 onto with 130, you get that 480 again. Shall hashemus atman olam leminyan taf. It comes to 480. Agoshem is chavrim 10. So you take the number 450. Shall chamisha chasadim. Im taf with the 480. Shall chamisha gevuros. Im Hashem. Im hey shall shorish. Now how he does this is what he does. Shel Shorish Achamisha Chasadim, which refers to the Shila Hamam Takim, which do the sweetening word. Ola the Minyan 935 Tuf Tuf Kuf Lamed Hey Big Gematria, which is the same as the Gematria of Mordechai and Esther. I guess we're out of time.
Mm-hmm.
That's the time here. Now, I didn't spend the time on adding it up like I did the night before. I just didn't think I needed to do it, but I did. So it's not quite as clear as I would like to have been. But at any rate, he's telling us what is generated from this Yesod of Abba is going to be Mordechai and Esther. And on the next page, if you want to look at it, we can look at it. Okay, we're out of time. Okay, that's it for today. And